The UK is collapsing, economic meltdown, deindustrialisation, and soaring energy costs. Imagine a nation once at the heart of the Industrial Revolution, a country whose factories churned out steel, chemicals, and cars, whose railways crossed rugged landscapes, whose energy plants hummed day and night. Today that nation watches as the hum grows faint. The machinery slows, the lights still glow, but the pulse is weaker. This is the story of the United Kingdom in crisis. The collapse of industry, the carnage of soaring energy costs, the unraveling of hope. Let's rewind. For generations, the United Kingdom built its wealth on manufacturing, heavy industry, and global trade. But cracks began to appear. Productivity stalled, growth weakened, and Britain's workforce aged. After Brexit, inflation surged, debt ballooned, and the country's competitiveness collapsed. Then came the energy shock. A brutal reminder that no economy survives when power costs spiral out of control. In 2025, Britain faces a perfect storm. From steel to chemicals, from car plants to glassworks, industries are shutting down under the pressure of unbearable electricity bills. According to recent reports, the output of energy-intensive industries like paper, petrochemicals, and metals has fallen to a 35-year low. Factories that once powered the nation now stand silent. Communities that depended on these jobs are collapsing into despair. The hum of progress has become the whisper of decline. How did this happen? Britain's over-reliance on imported natural gas has left it vulnerable to global shocks. When Russia invaded Ukraine, gas prices exploded and British energy markets, tied to volatile global rates, imploded. The result? Energy bills that are among the highest in Europe. British factories pay nearly double what competitors in the United States and France pay. Industrialists call it economic suicide. Meanwhile, government promises of green growth and clean industry ring hollow. The transition to renewable energy was meant to make Britain stronger, but poor planning, weak investment, and excessive taxes have made electricity more expensive, not less. When businesses close, there's no carbon to tax, but there are thousands of lives uprooted, families broken, and towns turned into wastelands. De-industrialisation is no longer a theory, it's reality. The UK's chemicals industry warns it is heading for extinction. The steel industry teeters on collapse, with the last blast furnaces facing shutdown. Every closure sends shockwaves through the economy. When a factory shuts, suppliers die, service jobs disappear, and local businesses lose their customers. It's a domino effect that threatens to erase generations of industrial knowledge. The human cost is devastating. Imagine working 30 years in a steel plant only to see it close overnight. Imagine your children leaving town because there are no jobs left. Imagine pensioners watching their energy bills double while the government debates subsidies that come too late. This is the quiet crisis, the death of dignity, the erosion of identity, the slow disintegration of working-class Britain. Households are crushed under soaring costs. Inflation has shredded savings, mortgages are unbearable, and energy bills eat half a paycheck. For many, it's not just about comfort, it's about survival. Heating versus eating is now a national dilemma. And as public services deteriorate, social unrest brews beneath the surface. The government insists help is coming. In 2025, it introduced a £420 million relief package for energy-intensive industries. But compared to the scale of the problem, it's a drop in the ocean. Industry leaders call it too little, too late. Taxes on electricity remain among the highest in the developed world. The structure of the energy market, based on gas-linked pricing, still punishes manufacturers even when renewables generate cheaper power. This crisis isn't isolated to factories, it's a national emergency. A country that cannot make its own steel, chemicals, or fertilizers loses sovereignty. Dependency on imports grows. Economic resilience collapses. Britain risks becoming a consumer economy with no productive core, a nation that buys what it once made, borrowing money to pay for it. And the danger doesn't end there. As industrial decline deepens, social divides widen. Prosperity concentrates in London and the South, while the Midlands, Wales, and the North spiral into decay. The same regions that built the empire now watch their foundations crumble. Political anger grows. Trust in leadership erodes. And when economic hopelessness meets political instability, history tells us the outcome is never peaceful. This collapse has global implications. When Britain falls behind, Europe's supply chains shift, and global competitors like China and India fill the void. British influence fades and geopolitical leverage vanishes. A nation that once shaped the world now struggles to shape its own destiny. The question is simple. Can Britain recover? It will take bold, immediate reform, restructuring the energy market, investing in nuclear and green technologies that actually lower costs, and protecting what remains of domestic industry. Without it, decline becomes destiny. For ordinary people, the path forward looks grim. More layoffs, higher costs, and fewer opportunities. The middle class shrinks, the welfare burden grows, and social stability erodes. Britain risks entering a lost decade, a slow collapse masked by political spin and patriotic slogans. The truth is hard but clear. The United Kingdom is not collapsing in an instant, it's decaying day by day. Factories shut quietly. Families move silently. Politicians speak loudly but act too late. The wealth of the nation drains away like sand through open fingers. History is repeating itself. From the industrial glory of the 19th century to the austerity of the 21st, Britain's story is one of rise, retreat, and resilience. But resilience cannot survive without production, energy, and opportunity. And those pillars are breaking! So as we look across Britain today, at shuttered plants, darkened streets, and anxious households, one truth emerges. The empire of industry has fallen. What rises next depends on the courage to rebuild before it's too late. This is not just an economic warning. It's a call for survival. Because when a nation stops producing, it starts disappearing. And for the United Kingdom, time is running out. Stay awake. Stay aware. This is Felix. See you next time.